The Tata Nexon has been the hero of Tata Motors range, and it has really taken the company to new heights, especially in the field of electric mobility, where the Nexon is by far the best-selling EV in the space. It dominates the space. And now Tata Motors wants to take this to even greater heights with a comprehensive facelift of both the electric and ICE versions. And talking to me about this, the new models which have just come out, is Shailesh Chandra, the Managing Director of Tata Motors Passenger Car Division. Shailesh, congratulations. Big day. Nexon, the hero of your range. It really gets a new facelift. So very quickly on really the Nexon, it is probably the vehicle that has really put Tata Motors on a different level altogether.
Absolutely. Since the launch in 2017, it was not an immediate takeoff because it was a very novel concept in terms of styling, coupe style, very sporty look. It was a head turner, but many people took time to understand this car. Brilliant thing was that this was also a car which brought very high safety standards in the country. This was the first 5-star rated car, and today people give example of the high safety of Nexon. Many people post severe accidents that they faced, and the shell protected them. So safety design has been unique to Tata Nexon, and also from a performance and technology perspective, it has always been above in its segment. That's the reason why today it has become the number one SUV. In FY22, FY23, it was a number one SUV and continues to be very popular, but its popularity has grown over a period of time.
And launched in 2017, it's now 23 over here. Clearly, it's same platform, but really deep facelifts being done. So clearly, I think in terms of life cycle management, this is really a case study on you don't need to move to a completely new platform. An existing platform, you can really extend life and in fact even have a strong future for it.
Yeah, see, you have to make your investments judicially and oriented to the market and the customer value proposition that you need to deliver. And then you have to assess versus that, what are the modifications that you need or whether you need to shift to a new platform. Our decision was that we need to go to some major interventions in the platforms, but with a certain percentage of that investment, you could deliver everything and better than what you could deliver in a new platform. So therefore, this platform has gone significant changes for this particular new Nexon that we have launched. But that saving has allowed us to invest in places where the customer wants us to invest. And that's why you see this has gone way ahead in terms of delivering features what we had to. And can you even think that a new platform, if you would have done on a new platform, it would have been better than this? No, this has been very market oriented and customer.
And I think also a lot of the niggles from the earlier car you sorted out, like the rotary drive controller, which was a big thing. I think that's been knocked out. So clearly a lot of feedback also has gone into improving the product.
Feedback, but more importantly, the trends that we see, which takes the aspiration to the next level. The mono-stable shifter that you see, you get this in luxury cars. So every element we have seen in it in detail, and where we wanted to take it to, the thinking was 2 segment above. So that has gone behind the thinking of why we have provided that feature.
Right. And just looking at, you've got a complete range of powertrains in the Nexon, petrol, diesel, EV of course. Direction is EV. How do you see the powertrain panning out? Clearly diesel is something which has been a mainstay, a way of, let's say, moving to EV transition from a CO2 perspective. So just, to understand how is the powertrain mix right now, and obviously going towards electrification, but each powertrain does have its role to play even now.
So let me answer this in 2 parts. One, that what is our vision, what is our thrust. As a company, our vision and thrust is to become net carbon zero by 2040, and therefore electric vehicles have to be accelerated as fast as possible. The second part is that there is an emission norm and this roadmap which the government has laid down. And that is going to make few powertrains more relevant and few powertrains would lose its relevance. Those who would lose their relevance will start in certain segments. And then there will be one last segment which will be left. So we absolutely follow what the regulation throws as new opportunities and where opportunities start ebbing away. So our focus has been that we stick to that. So of course diesel has been degrowing, as you know, Hormazd from 60% has gone down to 18%. Maybe in BS7 it might further go down and become relevant for only 1 or 2 smaller segments. So it will, kind of follow its own path depending on how the regulations pan out. CNGs might grow, right?
Right.
CNG electric would be the next two big growth opportunities.
Right.
And we are growing very strong in those two.
Right. So talking about BS7, there's been no announcement on when it's going to come into effect. Are you all prepared for it? Do you know what the time frame is? Obviously, are you ready for it whenever it comes?
We are understanding it. Preparedness only comes when we exactly know what BS7 norms is, but we have a good understanding of what is needed for BS7, and we will work in an accelerated way whenever the regulation timelines come.
So, you said that diesels could go away in BS7 as well, CNG could come. So, it's fair to say that for you, CNG could be the new diesel?
CNG is already a new diesel for many segments, right? If you see the hatches, sedan, already it has been completely replaced with CNG.
No, I'm saying even going into higher segments eventually?
It might go higher. It might go in the higher segments. And with the kind of technology we have brought, which is the twin cylinder technology, the compromises because of which people were not buying CNG, if that compromise is taken care of, it can move into the higher segments.
So could we see a Nexon CNG in time, or do you think the diesel is fulfilling that role?
Let's hope for, but we don't know at this stage.
Yeah, it's a possibility.
Possibility is there because, as I said, as a company, we follow the market requirement.
Right.
If there is a market requirement, we'll service that.
You talked about 25% of your, vehicles being EVs in a certain amount of time, but that's a good number, clearly. But there's always been an issue of profitability with EVs. So how do you kind of, let's say, grapple with that? Because it's still a costly technology fundamentally because of the cells which are still imported, account for a large part of the cost of the car. I think cost is still a challenge with EVs. You've got a 5% GST. I don't know whether you can keep banking on that as well. So I'm sure from a long-term perspective, what's your plan to really make EVs profitable and more, let's say, cost-effective?
See, as a company, if we are thinking of EVs to be our destination, we have to ensure that the profitability remains equal or better than the ICE world. That is always very clear on mind. That is how we have based our business. There is a period where you will go through a phase of investments, you will also go through the phase of driving adoption of EVs, and therefore you will take strategic calls. Now, we were very profitable in EVs 1 year back. It is only that the cell costs went up by 30-35%, which really disturbed that, temporarily I would say. Because if I had passed that on to the market, the whole vision of driving electrification would have gone, because ultimately what sells is the value proposition, and
so
price is a big
still
component
subject
of that.
to the cell volatility, geopolitics, pricing, all
I
that.
think it was a temporary phenomena, because see, now you are seeing cells coming very close to what they were 1 year back, and you will see that the profitability will improve. So there are many positive tailwinds that you see. The cell prices coming back to the levels where they were. Our localization effort has brought down costs. We are shifting to new generation subsystem, which is bringing down the cost. We are the first PLI compliant organization, so there will be support from the government for all the localization investment that you are. There are many tailwinds which will enhance the profitability.
So just on localization, two key components, the motors and the batteries. I know everything has been done by TACO for the battery except the cell. So just, I think cell manufacturing, when do you see that happening? When do you see locally sourced cells? And even on the motors, how localized are those getting right now?
So see, we are the anchor customers for our group initiative, which is Agratas, which is going to come with the cell manufacturing in the next coming years. I can't talk on behalf of them because that should come from the organization, but they are also going very fast and aggressive.
Right. And what about on the motors and all the other?
So far we have not in-housed motor, in-house as in Tata Motors, but TACO is doing that for us with a joint venture partner. So we get our motors from TACO.
Right. So from a localization standpoint, what would you say your level is right now on the EV?
We have always been compliant to FAME as well as DVA.
Right.
So FAME asked for phase manufacturing plan for 18 subsystems. We were very compliant to that. Now the PLI as well as FAME now asks for domestic value addition of 50% plus, and we are 50% plus, and we would have heard the news that we got the first PLI certificate for the Tiago EV. So we have kept enough headroom versus what the requirement is. So we are going deeper and deeper. into the localization.
Last few questions, Shailesh. You talked about the Tiago EV, it's your best-selling EV right now. Do you feel that the Nexon now with the new one could kind of, let's say, internally topple it from its, let's say, premier position, or you think the Tiago EV, because of its price proposition, still has the chunk of the EV market?
I'm happy in either case.
And what's
Whether
your
Tiago
forecast?
shines or Nexon shines, for me, both are
But what
our
do you
cars.
what do you forecast?
No, I think both have their own spaces and
Right.
customers. One is selling at a certain price point, the other one is selling at a different price point, attracting different kind of customers. There might be only few portion of overlap between the two.
Right.
But both should grow.
Right. And last question, Shailesh, on safety. Clearly that's been something you've been at the forefront of. The new cars, it's fair to assume it would meet the new NCAP protocols. They've been upgraded to that. Obviously, you'll be submitting them for testing. And also your thought on now, a statement by the MOT that airbags don't have to be mandatory and it's being left to the manufacturers to decide, because obviously it'll affect their crash rating.
So this has been the standard of highest safety standard in the country, Nexon as a product. And as I said, it has to live to its stature, and therefore the car, at this stage I can only say that in absence of a certificate in hand, that this has been fully enabled to meet the most stringent requirements of GNCAP and the forthcoming BNCAP starting from October. We have done all the enablements. When the certificate comes, hopefully it should live to its stature, is
Right.
what we are believing, but at this stage we don't have the results. On the second question, I would say that there are certain things that we are very clear as a company that we don't have to chase regulation here. We have to drive our own destiny, and as brand pillars, electrification is one of them, which is sustainability, and the other one is safety. We would not wait for regulation for any intervention what we want to do in the market. We would keep evolving, as you have seen in this product also, we have enhanced it to the next level.
Right.
So we'll continue our journey irrespective of regulations.
Let me put another way, it allows some competition not to have 6 airbags and maybe give them an advantage that way. Do you think?
There was always a situation that there
you-
were many players who did not
Right.
have to do a 5-star, and they chose not to do. But that should not deter what is in our mind. We will do what is right for the customer and what is right for the country.
Shailesh, thanks very much. Pleasure talking to you, and congratulations once again.